Good morning. Good morning, good morning, my friends. God's blessings upon you. Let's praise the Lord together, my friends. We have all awakened in God's shelter. Now we've come to praise His name together. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
My
morning.
friends.
My friends.
Sing Hosanna.
Hosanna.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Allah Paya Bahala Pa. In the sanctuary of our Lord's protection and the stronghold of our Lord's defense. With His love our spirits are illumined as we glorify His name, our hearts are blessed. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, my friends.
My friends.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning.
my friends.
My friends.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My cord's in the way here.
Good morning.
Let's see. Cambies, Andy, you had us scared. You had us scared. But good morning. It's
Why
good
did we have you scared?
because you weren't here. You're usually here before we start. And I'm like, where are Andy and Cambies? But good morning. And good morning, Sharonay and Camille and Farah and Vicky and Husham and Jeremiah. And
Good morning,
good morning.
brothers.
Good to see you. And how you doing, Daryl?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. And if I had to rank, I'm ranking. I'm saving the best for last.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, Nini.
Good morning, Nini.
Say that again. Oh, you mean
Allow
Alawapa? Alawapa, yes. Yes. Nini is with us after weeks away. She was able to free herself up and be here with us. And so our producer director is with us today, and we're so happy about that. I don't know about you, but I am.
I am as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. So let's start with a prayer as always. And this is a prayer, a very well-known, in Baha'i circles, a very well-known prayer from Baha'u'llah, revealed by Baha'u'llah. Create in me a pure heart, O my God, and renew a tranquil conscience within me, O my hope. Through the spirit of power, confirm thou me in thy cause, O my best beloved. And by the light of thy glory, reveal unto me thy path, O thou the goal of my desire. Through the power of thy transcendent might, lift me up unto the heaven of thy holiness, O source of my being. And by the breezes of thine eternity, gladden me, O thou who art my God. Let thine everlasting melodies breathe tranquility on me, O my companion. And let the riches of thine ancient countenance deliver me from all except thee, O my master. And let the tidings of the revelation of thine incorruptible essence bring me joy, O thou who art the most manifest of the manifest, and the most hidden of the hidden. And again, this is a prayer revealed by Baha'u'llah. Now, if you've been joining us, you know that yes, we have been working with the book One Common Faith. One Common Faith. And we've probably got we've still got a few weeks left on this, but we're nearing the end of it because we said in the beginning it was a short book. But again, for anyone who's just joining us, it is a book form letter. I mean, it was written originally as a letter in 2005 from the Universal House of Justice, the supreme governing body of the Baha'i faith. And it was a letter to the world addressing the problems of the world and addressing the role that religion should be playing in solving those problems, and also confronting the reality that many people are no longer seeing the value of religion in the way they live their lives and in the way they view solutions to the world's problems. And we've talked about some of the reasons that religion simply isn't, at least the practitioners of religion, why it isn't stepping up the way it should be, why there are conflicting views, and how some people don't even agree on what religion is, and how some people of great influence actually are misusing religion often to their own devices and their own personal objectives. Yeah. Anything you want to say before we go ahead? Yeah. So, I think it's important to point out that last week we clearly read that religion, first and foremost, is to the practitioners of religion are to view the world and apply religion to the needs and problems of the day. I'm going to read a quote here from Baha'u'llah. Be anxiously concerned with the needs of the age you live in and center your deliberations on its exigencies and requirements. And so some of the things that we read in older revelations do not apply to today. Obviously, there are some eternal laws that do. But this new revelation is intended to address larger problems than just personal salvation. It's intended to address major social issues for which the world's leaders of today don't seem to have a whole lot of answers.
Right.
And so with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So Daryl, if you'd be so kind. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say what page we're on.
We are on page 42.
Yes, we're on page 42 for those of you who have the book. And good morning, Gilbert and Matthew.
The power through which these goals will be progressively realized is that of unity. The power through which these goals will be progressively realized is that of unity. Although to Baha'is, the most obvious of truths, its implications for the current crisis of civilization appear to escape most contemporary discourse. Few will disagree that the universal disease sapping the health of the body of humankind is that of disunity. Its manifestations everywhere cripple political will, debilitate the collective urge to change, and poison national and religious relationships. How strange, then, that unity is regarded as the goal to be attained, if at all, in a distant future, after a host of disorders in social, political, economic, and moral life have been addressed and somehow or other resolved. Yet the latter are essentially symptoms and side effects of the problems, not its true cause. Why has so fundamental an inversion of reality come to be widely accepted? The answer is presumably because the achievement of genuine unity of mind and heart among peoples whose experiences are deeply at variance is thought to be entirely beyond the capacity of society's existing institutions. I'm going to read that again. The answer is presumably because the achievement of genuine unity of mind and heart among peoples whose experiences are deeply at variance is thought to be entirely beyond the capacity of society's existing institutions.
Okay, Daryl, I'm going to stop you there. I suffer from a condition called I needed simple-itis. And this is, it's simple. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I don't know. Maybe it's not obvious. If you're someone like me who sometimes needs things broken down, to me, this is one of those paragraphs where it's packed with so much. But I think certain things, to me, I've underlined some things that I had to go back and kind of look at. I mean, think about how profound the statement is. The universal disease sapping the health of the body of humankind is that of disunity.
That's right.
Yes. And then it listed some ways that you can see this. I mean, the effects of it, its manifestations everywhere. Cripple political will, we see that. Debilitate the collective urge to change, we see that. And poison national and religious relationships. You know, and it says, how strange then that unity is regarded as a goal to be attained. And yet, you know, all of these things that we've listed are essentially symptoms and side effects of the problem, not the root cause. I mean, you know, as it points out in that last sentence you read, where is it? The achievement of genuine unity. I don't know, maybe I should put it in the form of a question. Does it seem impossible to attain the idea of world unity?
Well, I think many of us believe that it's impossible.
Yeah.
And if that's your starting point, then, you know,
It's hard to hear
like
you,
saying,
Daryl.
I'm sorry, say again?
It's hard to hear you.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can turn up a little bit here. Is that better?
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, thank you. I'm just saying that if the belief that unity is impossible is your starting point, then it sounds like we've got a ways to go to get to that point.
Yeah, and it's like, why bother? Yeah. Yeah, and that's what it says. The answer is presumably because the achievement of genuine unity of mind and heart among peoples whose experiences are deeply at variance is thought to be, just like you said, entirely beyond the capacity of society's existing institutions. So it's hard to think, you know, well, why even bother trying if you don't even think it's possible? Yeah, if you think it's beyond your capabilities, why try? I just wanted to kind of put an asterisk on some of those things.
Sure.
So I'll shut up now.
While this tacit admission is a welcome advance over the understanding of processes of social evolution that prevailed a few decades ago, it is of limited practical assistance in responding to the challenge. Unity is a condition of the human spirit.
Okay.
Unity,
I'm stopping you again. Yes.
I knew you were going to stop me. Unity is a condition of the human spirit.
You want to say it like 5 more times, maybe? No.
I think I should.
Yes.
Unity is a condition of the human spirit. Education can support and enhance it as can legislation, but they can do so only once it emerges and has established itself as a compelling force in social life.
Wow. Wow.
That's so deep.
And I think even the people that are a lot of people that are striving for unity are kind of putting the cart before the horse. Maybe many of us Baha'is. I mean, we understand the importance of unity, and we understand the importance of education and you know, legislating, hopefully, our way to a world where there is unity. But what this sentence is saying is that the unity first has to be the goal.
Yeah.
Education can support and enhance it, as can legislation, but they can do so only once it being unity, once it emerges and has established itself as a compelling force in social life.
A global intelligentsia, its prescriptions largely shaped by materialistic misconceptions of reality, clings tenaciously to the hope that imaginative social engineering, supported by political compromise, may indefinitely postpone the potential disasters that few deny loom over humanity's future.
Mhm.
We can well perceive how the whole human race is encompassed with incalculable afflictions, Baha'u'llah states. They are intoxicated by self-conceit, have interposed themselves between it and the divine and infallible physician. Witness how they have entangled all men, themselves included, in the mesh of their devices. They can neither discover the cause of the disease, nor have they any knowledge of the remedy.
Mhm.
As unity is the remedy for the world's ills, its one certain source lies in the restoration of religion's influence in human affairs.
Yeah.
It says what we're going to have, religion is going to have to serve its purpose
Exactly.
before we can resolve those social and spiritual issues that plague mankind.
And I think it's important we point out in that quote from Baha'u'llah, we can well perceive how the whole human race is encompassed with incalculable afflictions. And then it goes on to say, they that are intoxicated with self-conceit have interposed themselves between the human race, and the divine and infallible physician. And we should point out that physician in this case is capitalized. That's a reference to God or the manifestation of God. And, again, you go back a little further and it says, a global intelligentsia, the smart people of the world, a global
Right.
intelligentsia. Its prescriptions largely shaped by materialistic misconceptions of reality, clings tenaciously to the hope that imaginative social engineering supported by political compromise. So let's all get together and let's make sure that these people have this and these people have this. And so, let's make sure that everyone's material needs are met. And obviously that's failing miserably. But if we can just do that, we may indefinitely postpone the potential disasters that few deny loom over humanity's future. And yet, if we go further down, as pointed out, as unity is the remedy for the world's ills, its one certain source lies in the restoration of religion's influence in human affairs. So, they're working on the material effects of disunity, but not dealing with the major cause, which is that
Exactly.
lack of spirituality and that lack of following a divine source.
Well, basically, it's saying that material and political solutions are merely band-aids.
Thank you. You
They are
said it
not-
so much better. Yes.
They are not cures to the ills of mankind.
Yes.
The laws and principles revealed by God in this day, Baha'u'llah declares, are the most potent instruments and the surest of all means for the dawning of the light of unity amongst men. Whatsoever is raised on this foundation, the changes and chances of the world can never impair its strength, nor will the revolution of countless centuries undermine its structure. Central to Baha'u'llah's mission, therefore, has been the creation of a global community that would reflect the oneness of mankind. Central to Baha'u'llah's mission.
That's got to be in the
Central
middle,
to Baha'u'llah's mission has been the creation of a global community that would reflect the oneness of mankind. The ultimate testimony that the Baha'i community can summon in vindication of his mission is the example of unity that his teachings have produced. As it enters the 21st century, the Baha'i cause is a phenomenon unlike anything else the world has seen. after decades of effort in which surges of growth alternated with long stretches of consolidation, often shadowed by setbacks. The Baha'i community today comprises several million people, representative of virtually every ethnic, cultural, social, and religious background on earth, administering their collective affairs without the intervention of a clergy through democratically elected institutions.
Okay. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's
What the heck do you mean? A religion with no clergy? Really?
it's because you have to discover for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll admit, I've been a Baha'i for a while now, 20 something years, moving into 30, and I'm only frankly just beginning to understand, I think, what they're this thing that they mention here. There have been setbacks, often. Where's that sentence? After decades of effort, in which surges of growth alternated with long stretches of consolidation, often shadowed by setbacks. I don't know about you, but I'll admit sometimes I'll sit in our various gatherings and so forth, and I will hear about, periods of growth and then consolidation, growth and consolidation. I don't think I really got a crystallized idea of what that meant. Separately, I get what the words mean. But as far as phases that the growth of this faith has been going through in these years since I've been a part of it, I couldn't wrap my brain around it. And I'm just starting to understand the importance of, growth and then consolidation, bring it all together, growth and consolidation. I've said, maybe a little too much personal information, but that this to me is probably, at least for me, on a personal level, is the most important thing that I can personally do as far as for personal edification, while having a very, very conscientious idea of being a part of a larger community that is trying to work to bring about the salvation of mankind. And that little shift for me, it made a big difference for me. I'll just say it made a big difference for me. I don't know. But again, the idea of no clergy, took me a while to wrap my brain around that. Yeah.
Well, there's a finger that's pointed here, and that finger is pointed directly at the Baha'is.
Yeah.
Primarily because of the diversity of the faith. And the diversity of the faith says that we are all part of that global community.
Mm-hmm.
And because we are a religion, we have the best opportunity to bring about world unity.
Yes.
Because the faith is so inclusive of so many religions, ethnic groups, and people who come from all walks of life,
Mm-hmm.
who come from every ethnic group, who come from everything you could imagine. We have the clearest opportunity to bring about world unity.
That's quite a statement, Daryl.
Well, that's kind of what this says. It's not me. I think that's what this says.
I think you're right. But I think it also, there's a little phrase in there that kind of at least alludes to the fact that we're not always going to get it right. I mean, if you look at that first sentence of not the first sentence, but at the bottom of page 41, after decades of effort in which surges of growth alternated with long stretches of consolidation, often shadowed by setbacks. So it's not a smooth process. And again, it's, okay, let's try this, let's try that, but that constant trying to have a greater understanding of the application of God's word to, building the various, I don't even know there's a word there that's not coming, but building that, working towards that future, let's just put it that way.
The many thousands of localities in which it has put down its roots are to be found in every country, territory, and significant island group, from the Arctic to Tierra del Fuego, from Africa to the Pacific. The assertion that this community may already constitute the most diverse and geographically widespread of any similarly organized body of the people on the planet is likely to be challenged by one familiar with the evidence. The achievement calls out for understanding, conventional explanations, access to wealth, the patronage of powerful political interests, invocations of the occult, or aggressive programs of proselytization that instill fear of divine wrath. None have played any role in the events involved. Adherents of the faith have achieved a sense of identity as members of a single human race. Adherents of the faith have achieved a sense of identity as members of a single human race, an identity that shapes the purpose of their lives and that clearly is not the expression of any intrinsic moral superiority on their own part. O people of Baha'i, that there is none to rival you is a sign of mercy. A fair-minded observer is compelled to entertain at least the possibility that the phenomenon may represent the operation of influences entirely different in nature from the familiar ones. Influences that can properly be described only as spiritual, capable of eliciting extraordinary feats of sacrifice and understanding from ordinary people of every background. Whew. Yeah.
I look at that phrase, adherents of the faith. I like that they said adherents.
That's the finger that's pointing.
Yeah. I like that they say adherents and not members.
Right.
Adherents of the faith. I did not write the beats per minute out, so I'm hoping I got this right. If it's not right, I'll change it. Hang on. Oh, yeah. Dwell in one world. Ye dwell in one world and have been created through the operation of one will. Ye dwell in one world. Ye dwell in one world and have been created through the operation of one will. Blessed is he who mingleth with all men in a spirit of utmost kindliness and love. Oh, ye dwell in one world. In one world and have been created through the operation of one will. Illumine and hallow your hearts, let them not be profaned by the thorns of hate or the thistles of malice. Ye dwell in one world and have been created through the operation of one will. Blessed is he who mingleth with all men in the spirit of utmost kindliness and love. Ye dwell in one world. Ye dwell in one world. Ye dwell in one world the operation of one will, ye dwell in one world, ye dwell in one world, ye dwell in one world. That's all we got is one world, and we're all living in it. So, I mean, the fact that we live, that saying, ye dwell, that's all of us. You live in one world. So, hey.
The last sentence, let's see. Ministering the collective affairs.
Is that a fair-minded observer is compelled?
Yes.
Mhm. Someone who's
Yes.
being fair, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go. Notice we're not answering the question.
No, but
that's
you nailed it.
yes,
That's right.
yes, and that's something that we all need to meditate on. It's not that the answers aren't there; the answers are there, but it is such a huge concept and something that we've already pointed out. Some people view it as an impossibility, that we're incapable of it, and yet we're not. We're just not applying the tools that we have right here in our fingertips.
Right. How about if you take over reading?
Okie dokie. Particularly striking has been the fact that the Baha'i cause has been able to maintain the unity thus achieved, unbroken and unimpaired through the most vulnerable early stages of its existence. And then it's going to go on to explain that. One will search in vain for another association of human beings in history, political, religious, or social, that has successfully survived the perennial blight of schism and faction. The Baha'i community, in all its diversity, is a single body of people, one in its understanding of the intent of the revelation of God that gave it birth, one in its devotion to the administrative order that its author created for the governance of its collective affairs, one in its commitment to the task of disseminating his message throughout the planet. Over the decades of its rise, several individuals, sorry, I'm laughing. I read this and it's like, it ain't like somebody hasn't tried to break it up.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here we go. Over the decades of its rise, several individuals, some of them highly placed, and all of them driven by the spur of ambition, did their utmost to create separate followings loyal to themselves or to the personal interpretations they had imposed on Baha'u'llah's writings. So there have been some attempts at breaking down this unity. At earlier stages in the evolution of religion, similar attempts had proved successful in splitting the newborn faiths into competing sects. In the case of the Baha'i cause, however, such intrigues have failed without exception to produce more than transient outbursts of controversy, whose net effect has been to deepen the community's understanding of its founder's purpose and its commitment to it. So powerful is the light of unity, Baha'u'llah assures those who recognize him, that it can illuminate the whole earth. So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. Human nature, human nature being what it is, one can readily appreciate the guardian's anticipation that this purifying process will long continue, paradoxically, but necessarily to be an integral feature of the maturation of the Baha'i community. I'm going to read that again. I think I broke it up pretty bad. Human nature being what it is, one can readily appreciate the guardian's anticipation that this purifying process will long continue, paradoxically, but necessarily, to be an integral feature of the maturation of the Baha'i community. And for anyone who may be wondering, this reference to the guardian, the book that we read prior to this, what was Advent
The
of
Advent
Divine
of
Justice?
Divine
Yes,
Justice,
which was
yes.
the guardian is Shoghi Effendi. So you can look that up if you don't know who Shoghi Effendi is or was. And now, I'm assuming that's where we're going to stop
Well,
today.
since you mentioned the guardian,
Okay.
you might as well explain who he was.
You're trying to put me on the spot, aren't you?
I'm
You are
not-
trying to put
I'm
me on
not-
the spot.
I'm not trying to
You're trying to put me on the spot. Okay.
No. He's not trying to put you on the spot. You are on the spot. And he's really reminding you of that fact.
Well, I always, because of my Christian roots, I always like to first start out by explaining how Jesus passed along the responsibility of guiding the Christian faith to Peter. You know,
That's right.
on this rock I will build my faith, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against me. Well, that's that stage of passing along the job of guiding a developing faith is just part of revelation. It is part of, let's say, the system, part of that spiritual educational system. And when it comes to the Baha'i faith, Baha'u'llah actually passed the responsibility of guiding the faith to his son,
Right.
Abdul Baha. Well, Abdul Baha had to do the same thing. And he passed along the responsibility of guiding the faith after he was no longer with us to Shoghi Effendi. Shoghi Effendi was his grandson, am I correct?
Absolutely.
Yes, to his grandson.
Right.
And he was called the guardian because that was his job. And he fulfilled his responsibilities and then some. Many of the translations that we have for for a lot of the writings, that was Shoghi Effendi. He was the one who spearheaded and oversaw, shall we say, the translating of those writings, as well as the development of the faith in those times,
Beyond
especially
that.
in the mid 20th century. So when this reference to the guardian is that's who we're talking about, a reference to Shoghi Effendi, who again oversaw the faith, and then after him, eventually,
The Universal House
yeah,
of
the Universal
Justice.
House of Justice, which you often hear us refer to. Yes. And I didn't get a chance to say good morning to Janet and Kim and Adam and Gilbert. Yes, so I wanted to say good morning to all of them. And it is that time, isn't it?
It's that time.
As we come to the time where we always like to allow anyone who would choose to share a prayer or reading or song of your choosing. This is that time, but we always like to begin with our Camby's moment, followed by our Andy Murphy moment. So Camby's, do you have something to share with us today?
Do you hear me?
We can hear
Yes.
you. Yes.
Okay.
Can't hear you.
Camby's, you've cut out.
Well, I'm unmuted.
Yeah, for some reason we heard your voice, but then when you started playing, we couldn't hear your instrument.
I think we have to ask Jeremiah to help us out. Because,
There, Jeremiah, to help us out with the technical stuff.
right. Because it happened before too. So can you hear my music?
Yeah, you're gonna have to continue to play and not pause, because the system, we have to remove your automatically mute on your audio. I think that's what's happening. So if you play it loud and consistent for a couple seconds, then I think we will be fine. But if you stop, then it's misunderstanding, and it's automatically cutting the audio off because it's thinking you've stopped talking.
The joys of technology.
Same thing just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the only thing we can do is you go to your microphone icon on the application. And I don't know. And then you go to audio settings.
Okay, I have to do that later, but I'm going to
Yeah.
read what I prepare and then maybe fix it later.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. O son of the wondrous vision, I have breathed within thee a breath of my own spirit, that thou mayest be my lover. Why hast thou forsaken me and sought a beloved other than me? Thank you. That's the hidden words from Baha'u'llah.
Thank you, Kambiz. Thank you. And now, Andy, do you have something to share with us this morning?
Yes, I have.
Please.
Something we were talking about unity just a moment ago, and it reminded me of this little song. God is one, man is one, and all the religions are one. Land and sea, hill and valley, under the beautiful sun. God is one, man is one, and all the religions agree. When everyone learns those three onenesses, we'll have world unity. When everyone learns the three onenesses, we'll have world unity.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you. That was one of the first songs I learned as a Baha'i. One of the first ones. Is there anyone else who would like to share? Anyone else who'd like to share?
Hi, it's Lucy.
Please.
I found some words of God compiled by the Baha'i World Center. In today's topic, it says, God grant that the light of unity may envelop the whole earth, and that the seal, the kingdom is God's, may be stamped upon the brow of all its peoples.
Yes.
Baha'u'llah.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anyone else who would like to share?
Be ye as the fingers of one hand, the members of one body. Baha'u'llah.
Thank you so much, Farah. Is there anyone else who would like to share? I love the fact that we have so many people sharing, these messages of unity, because, that it permeates the writings, just goes
That's
throughout,
right.
and it's emphasized so much. Anyone else who would like to share?
Okay.
Well, then in that case, we're going to go ahead and remind everyone that...
One more music, please.
Wait a minute. Please.
One more music, please.
Please, go ahead.
Not me. Mr. Bilal,
Oh, you'd like to hear us do another song?
if possible.
Oh, we always
we
finish
will.
with a song.
Yeah,
so
we will
yes,
shortly.
Okay.
we'll finish
All
with
right. Okay.
Thank you.
But thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share? Well, then, This is that time that we always like to remind everyone that while, you see Daryl and I here, we're not the only ones that are involved in this. This is a joint community effort. I don't know, we just changed something here. Hang on. It's technology again, kind of doing its own thing. But this is a joint community effort by a variety of people from different communities. And we come to you through the kindness of the Clearwater Bahá'ís. This is their website, and anyone who's in the Zoom stream, that because you have to go to the clearwaterbaha'is.org website to be a part of the Zoom. But yeah, it is a group effort, and so we love the fact that we can always bring this message to you as a result of the efforts of everyone involved. And that includes everyone, even if you attend, you're involved. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
If you attend, you're involved. And if you would like to have more information about the Baha'i Faith, there are some authoritative websites that you can go to.
And they are www.baha'i.us, www.baha'i.org, www.bahaiteachings.org. And if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area or in the Clearwater area, you can always go to the Clearwater Bahá'í website, or anywhere from that matter. You can go to the Clearwater Bahá'í website at www.clearwaterbaha'is.org.
Yes. And I frequently, not always, but frequently forget to point out that the Clearwater website, the Clearwater Bahá'ís, they host other programs. This isn't the only one. In fact, one reason that we always end at the time that we do is because immediately following this, is what is called the adult class. It's often led by one of the people that are here right now, Gilbert Hakim. And there are other teachers that they bring in, and also other programs that they have. So we really, really, really do encourage you to go to the clearwaterbaha'is.org, clearwaterbaha'is.org website, and kind of avail yourself of some of the other programs that they have there. It really is a really good service and tool. I'm laughing because
Our director is directing us.
she's telling us, hurry up, we're running out of time. So, as always,
as I like to say actually every day, if there is one thing that you can do to improve the life of everyone who knows you, everyone around you, and it's not going to cost you anything, and I guarantee you that you won't regret doing it, and that is share the love.
O people of justice, be as brilliant as the light, and as splendid as the fire that blazed in the burning bush. The brightness of the fire of your love will no doubt fuse and unify the contending peoples and kindreds of the earth. Whilst the fierceness of the flame of enmity and hatred cannot but result in strife and ruin, we beseech God that he may shield his creatures from the evil designs of his enemies. He verily hath power over all things. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Oh, oh. Be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Watch over yourselves, for the evil one is lying in wait, ready to entrap you. Gird yourselves against his wicked devices, and led by the light of the name of the all-seeing God, make your escape from the darkness that surrounded you. Let your vision be world-embracing, rather than confined to your own self. These are the words of Baha'u'llah. Be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Oh, oh. Have a good week, everyone.